Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Self-Gav.
Hey.
I'm here with the Gavists. It's Cosmo.
Is that what we called?
Yeah, they call us that, eh? They call us the Self-Gavists. And I was like, oh, okay, this is so nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Sech Meddez is here as well. God's plan. I love that sweater, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
That's dope.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You know, we took a week's break, but we're feeling
Say,
good,
boy.
feeling blessed.
Shabila Zaza.
Yeah, no, when I wear glasses, it means I don't want to do my makeup. So
Oh, for real?
I'm covering up the fact that I haven't had a chance to do my
I
face.
actually haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That's actually smart.
Yes.
Are those DJs in this?
Yes, these are errors. Error shades.
Yo, dog. I had bought I've bought myself one pair.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what was happening, but I was just feeling, I don't know, bougie, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I bought myself a pair and I sat on them.
Really? For how long?
No, like I literally sat on them.
sat.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like I sat on them. Like it's really like one of the, what do you call
Yeah.
it?
The screws. Oh, the arms.
Yeah, the arms off, but I still have them, dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
No,
made
you
an
must
error.
either get them fixed or you must go buy another pair. That's your fault.
Can't you fix it?
I don't think so, bro. I don't know.
I'm sure you can, man.
I'm sure you can.
I'll try.
What
but
did you
I
say
haven't-
that he is?
Or
Okay.
take them to like Specsavers or something. I'm sure. But
I'm said. Yeah,
you can imagine how many people who wear spectacles who sit on their specs all the
I
time.
guess, yeah.
I once did that, dude. I once did that. I was so heartbroken.
What, search on your specs?
Ish.
And they were
But it's
Gucci's.
fair because you can't see.
They were Gucci's, dog.
Is he that blind?
No, but I'm saying like when people sit on their specs.
Oh, I thought you were saying he can't see. He needs them. I was like, huh?
Oh, no.
No, I'm not blind.
That's
So
what-
the wind specs.
No, the shades.
Oh, shades. Okay.
Gucci shades.
Okay. Me, I'm thinking specs.
Tricky.
Yeah.
If you sit on your specs, me understand.
What was that sweet in there?
He does.
Let me switch off your
He doesn't want to make noise with the paper.
That's why I'm fair to. Did you guys have a good weekend?
Yeah, pretty good. I was working throughout the weekend. It was nice and wholesome. Went to church yesterday. It was good.
Yeah. Barin go again.
They're basically saying that faith has no strength without humility.
Sure.
So basically, you can try and attack whatever problems that you have with strength, but sometimes you also need to just be humble in your issues and calm yourself down and deal with it with humility before you come in guns blazing.
Damn. That's a word.
That is a word.
Hallelujah. I wish I had an organ.
Okay, insert organ here.
These two are acting like they can do everything. Come, okay, organ. They were cramping off air just now. Omunye ushapari zepu. I don't know. I think let's get to the matter at hand.
I actually want to see Zeb.
I can't. I said I can't. I don't know why. What makes you think I can?
Maybe we
You
should
look like you
do
can.
that
What
after
part
that,
of-
after the shoot.
Yeah, after,
What
Like-
part of I cannot means I can?
You know?
I can.
No.
After the shoot,
After
yeah.
you shoot, yeah, we zap it.
No.
Anyway, how was your weekend, bro?
It was short, bruh. It was short because also I was preparing for like my wife to go home and all of that, and she left, and just hung out with friends. I don't have sport joy, so I'm not even watching sports at the moment.
Why?
Because all my teams is whack.
I know. Wait,
So-
so EPL, who you with?
Oh, Tottenham, bruh.
Spurs.
Who the
Tottenham.
hell supports Tottenham Spurs? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Bruh, I get that every day.
How did you select that team?
I don't know, man.
That is the strangest thing
It's
ever.
so strange.
It really is.
I've said this to him so many times.
It really is, but hey, man, that's where it's at. Lily White.
No, please, can you unpack this? How did you get to Spurs?
I mean, with sports, I think with like most guys, it's PlayStation, right? Start playing PlayStation like at a very young age,
Yeah.
and then you have your most popular teams, which is Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. Those were the clubs that we all supported. But when you play PlayStation at the standard that I played, you also go to the smaller teams to give yourself a challenge, and that's how I got introduced to Tottenham, and like on PlayStation. Before I actually knew about
the
them.
geekiest thing I've ever heard in my
Geeky. And I'm like, I started playing with Tottenham on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
You do realize those are not real players that are on PlayStation.
Which ones?
They're not real.
What do you mean?
You are operating them.
Yeah, that's why I needed a weaker team on PlayStation because.
So they're weak, and then in real life you said, "Okay, I come back. I'm gonna support the weaker team."
100%.
That is wild.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't understand your logic, but okay,
that's what
bro.
happened.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, I started believing in the philosophy of the team. You know, today is to do. Like I was like,
Yeah, you do with the Glamour Boys, right?
yeah. See,
we're
that's a
not
different
mentioning-
conversation.
No, sorry, we
That's
have
a different.
legacy.
That's a very
The Glamour
different
Boys have
conversation.
legacy,
Glamour Boys
sorry.
and Spurs, complete opposites.
Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved Spurs from there.
Clearly, I touched a nerve.
It's not a nerve. You stepped on our necks, and we're not gonna let you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got introduced to Spurs, and yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I need to catch up on sleep. I'm tired. I didn't sleep enough. Yesterday, my wife left. So she's in Cape Town for school. Gone the entire week. Now, what I do is, before my wife leaves, I write her letters. So for every day that she's gone, like she has a letter. And I put it like in an envelope. Let me see if I can find, because she sent me a picture.
You are Spalnamos.
Mm.
My man.
You.
Yeah, hard labor, myself.
Yeah, so that would be like the envelope and how it looks like.
That's cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it here.
Yeah, so like literally just like write a letter for her for every day. So I was writing like 8 letters, decorating the envelope, and so on and so forth. So by the time I went to bed, it was, I think, around 1:30. Yeah, in the morning. And we were waking up at 4 because I had to take her to the airport. Yeah. And then even yesterday, I got to hang out with Given Baloi. And when you visit that guy, like, he doesn't want you to leave.
Yeah.
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 So I need to catch up on sleep. But I had a good weekend.
Maybe you can do that later today.
My mom is here. She's visiting.
I can switch off your phone. Figure it out.
I thought.
Figure it out.
Anyway, I think let's get into what's popping. I have a couple of stories here. The first one, you're going to be a father soon, right?
What?
Yeah. What?
I'm gonna be a father.
Soon. Are you not? Don't you want to be a father?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was about to be
mean,
like,
you
why
saying
did you tell?
hypothetically? You
Why
saying we
did
saying
you
this?
tell us? I mean, I could have brought you some nappies.
Yeah, like
something.
I'm like, Hexy.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to be a father soon.
Yeah.
And me, right? You're going to be a mother soon.
Oh, okay. You guys at least have prospects. I mean, I don't know.
So I came across this article, which was really interesting. So it says that society celebrates birth, but shames the postpartum body. That's how you say it, right? So it celebrates the birth of children, but it shames the postpartum body. And then there's a question there that says, why must mothers bounce back? So a bit of context. We know how to worship women when they get pregnant. We praise their glow. You know, we marvel at how strong they are. In fact, we call them powerful and divine and miraculous, right? But somewhere between the delivery room and the months that follow, that reverence fades. So the same body that was once celebrated becomes quietly scrutinized. The softness, the scars, the lingering weight, the visible evidence of creation itself are no longer seen as proof of strength. They are treated as flaws. It is one of the most unsettling contradictions of modern life. We celebrate birth, but we reject the body that made it possible. Somebody commented on this and said, I can see why people leave their partners after birth. And I wanted us to unpack this.
No comment. This is for you. You are the men who are leaving your partners. You tell me.
That is wild.
And it's not like it's a new thing. It's a concept that's been happening for years. I've seen it with some of my own friends. I've seen it with, obviously, with celebrities. I've seen it in general, just like women are always the ones who get shunned after giving birth. And it's like, but I didn't choose to do this by myself,
Yeah.
firstly. Secondly, it's like if your body doesn't snap back like an elastic, all of a sudden you are lesser than, and you are not worthy of being in this person's life. So men, please do unpack. Tell us why things change after birth.
I'm shocked.
You're shocked?
I've never
Really?
like I think for me the closest person that I've ever been to is my sister, who I know like given birth and had that whole she wants to work on her body and whatever the case might be, but it wasn't to the extremes of like her partner wanting to leave or the partner making her feel like her body is like that. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with like this, like men just trying to be out when something like this happens.
Yeah, apparently it's a thing.
Sometimes it's also just even it's everything around having a baby that also becomes a factor. So there's the body factor with the body shaming, where the body has now obviously had to adjust to childbirth. So you've gotten a little softer, you've gained a little bit of weight. Things are moving in different directions. It's not as tight and model-esque as it was before. There's that one issue. Then the baby gets born. Then obviously the woman needs to now tend to this baby because you need to be there 24/7
100%.
to make sure that this child survives the day.
Yeah.
You know. And some men that I've experienced do this to my friends will be like, "Oh, things aren't the same. Relationship isn't the same. You've changed. Things are boring." Yes, because a child needs a schedule. You can't raise a child all willy-nilly.
Yeah, and so he's sexy.
Then the men start blaming the woman because, oh no, the relationship isn't the same anymore. You don't look the same. You don't give me attention. You are too strict now. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. Hi, I didn't choose to have this baby by myself.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the man's brain will all of a sudden just switch back to, I want to go back to sexy, fun, free, spontaneous relationship. But you can't have spontaneity when you have a child, unfortunately.
Do you think these are some of the things we should talk about, like prior to deciding on
Yes.
having a baby?
What?
But if I've married you, why is it even a thing?
Because
Like when you say talk about it, what do you mean?
Like the fact that the body's going to change and things are going to be different because there's a new person in our lives. Yeah.
my thing is, why do men shun women for their bodies changing because of childbirth, which means it's something my body adjusts to give birth to this baby. But when you gain weight because you're drinking beer on the weekend, watching soccer, I must keep quiet.
Get that bored.
That body, you didn't give birth to anybody. I did.
No, you shouldn't keep quiet. I don't think you should keep quiet.
But that's the thing, is that it's as if it's not a conversation that is given
that is true.
a platform.
Yeah.
But the women constantly have to snap back immediately after a baby has been born. It's like they get given maybe a month to get back to who they were before. Otherwise, the guy's out the door. And I'm being serious. This happens in marriages. It happens in relationships.
Yeah,
It
I get
happens
you.
even with situations, whatever the case is. It happens. Sometimes you don't even think it's going to happen because you're married to a person. All of a sudden, umuntu yakushintshela because now you repulse them because you're no longer the girl that he married.
Guys, what does till death do us part mean?
I want to just say it for the sake of, because
Is it just vibes?
Yeah.
sometimes they just want to post on Instagram, "Good bashadile."
Yeah.
I'm telling
That
you.
is
People do
crazy.
wild things for the sake
Yeah,
of
but
approval.
I don't think people sometimes understand the gravity of vows. Like that on its own, I just feel like it's the same concept as you'll find two people who are not even spiritually inclined to go to church and whatever, but they get married in the church, and you're like, wabo. So they're just doing it because it's part of the process. It's not necessarily taba ya hore ba dumela, like they
So
believe.
it's just an act.
It's just an act.
Yeah.
Wabo. So with vows, it's the same thing. That's what I think. I don't know. It's not like I don't relate with that spectrum of things. But if I were to speak to the gents who do this type of thing, I think, to be fair, in a way, women have also like glorified their bodies into relationships. They have made their bodies seem like the prize to a certain extent. So if you have glorified this thing or magnified,
Sorry to interject. So you mean that they lead with attraction, with physical attraction?
yeah,
Okay.
in most cases.
Yeah.
So now, if that's the one thing that the guy sees and is completely drawn towards, and that thing changes, you can't blame the guy. You get what I'm saying?
I get that, but if you're going to marry someone and have a baby with them, surely you know that things are going to change, because you can't come in with attraction and that's the only thing that's keeping you in the relationship.
Yeah.
There has to be other things that you love about me for you to decide you're going to marry me. It can't just purely be about what you see in the mirror, which means then you're dating. You're dating a
100%.
mannequin where I must just sit there and look pretty and I mustn't speak.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's the case sometimes.
That's the case sometimes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you really love someone, you're not gonna leave them because their body
I understand
changed.
a relationship, marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's why we
Magic
have the
that.
concept of a trophy wife.
100%.
You think about
I feel like there are women who, or let me not say women. There are marriages, the people who just get married because babuile for about to get married. And then about to get married, they move on. You know, like
Yeah.
it's for real though. Like you see like, marriages that last like 2 years, 3 years. They just wanted to go through that process of I have a friend of a friend who went through all of these things, lobola, ing, juankai, and they're no longer together now. And it's not to, and there's a baby also in the scene. And it's not to say, unfortunate instances don't occur. Or about to say, people, maybe they grow different within that process. It's like, maybe this is not the way to go about it, or whatever the case. But you look at the attraction, where was the attraction here? Or the inception rather. Like, how did this whole thing start? You see? And then it's like, okay, by virtue of how it started, it kind of gives...
Yeah, so it sets the precedent.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's rewind a little bit. Human nature, and this is everybody, women, men, dog, cat, whatever you are, you will speak to someone on first basis because of attraction. That attraction doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but there is something that is attracting you to them. It's going to be a constant thing in your relationship because you want to go back to your woman and say, wow, I actually really enjoy you. I actually am very attracted to you.
100%.
It's something that's going to drive your hormones. It's something that's going to keep you in the relationship. It is a standard thing. So shunning attraction for me doesn't make sense. I don't think it should be an issue because at the end of the day, as humans, you are going to be with somebody that you gravitate towards. That is just human nature.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with attraction being one of your top 5 reasons you're with a person.
Yeah, you see, top 5.
And do you understand? But I'm saying as you're in the relationship, you get to know this person and there's more things that you get attracted to. There's more things that keep you there. There's more things that actually bind you two together. So you should need to be able to be malleable, to be like, okay, whether we like it or not, we're going to age, life happens. This person, yes, on instant, I knew I like them because this is what they look like. But there's other aspects of them that I also enjoy. And at some point, these things are going to outweigh each other. 1 minute, you're going to be a nice person. Next minute, you're going to be a good-looking person. Next minute, you're going to gain a bit of weight. But then there's still going to be your values that keep me there. There's different things that keep you in a relationship. That's why, for me, I don't understand why all of a sudden the body drops and then the relationship is over. What about those other things that you've also been attracted to as time goes on?
Have you left somebody because the body dropped?
No.
Also, when your body drops, it's fine.
You see, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think
No,
girls-
it's not.
I don't think, but also I feel like women don't make it about the attraction as much though. Like in terms of how a guy looks or whatever.
No, women can be shallow. I can attest to it.
Yeah, but for the most part,
Women can definitely be shallow.
yeah, they can. But what I'm saying is, on average, we know that. Let me not say we know.
It's
but
just unfortunate that the caliber of men in South Africa,
Beza, I want to hear this. Beza.
the caliber of men in South Africa.
Does the camera?
Eish, the fit.
Well, you know it's
Yeah.
just
We're
not,
trying to
the-
find
Talk
you a
about it.
date.
We
man.
just
We're
no,
trying to
you're
find-
not trying to find me a
We
date.
are.
You
We
guys
are.
get February's gone and we're in March
sorry,
now.
it's not a February.
Don't relegate it
No,
to,
it's not
to
a February.
February.
March is but we're in March now. You guys have failed at your task.
No, we haven't
Anyway,
failed.
the caliber of men in South Africa, unfortunately, are not. We don't have as much options to pick from because, generally speaking, it's either a height issue, and you know this as a tall guy in South Africa, there is either a height issue, or there is a weight issue, or there is a I don't know, a general physique issue, because men don't prioritize their physique. Do you know how many times I've heard from men in South Africa to say, indoda ene six pack ayina mali, because uloku busy uspend imali yakho or isikhathi sakho ejimini uyenza nini imali, because for them they'd rather prioritize having a big belly and money in the bank.
But that's what you guys have promoted. That's
Who
what
promoted
women
it?
have promoted that.
No.
But you see, that's what
Women
I'm
have
saying.
promoted dad bods
No.
and bellies
I
and
refuse-
makaba
I refuse to-
because it
No,
signifies
no,
success, etc.
No, can I tell you this? We have not promoted it. Women just don't shun men as much as men shun us over our bodies.
Right.
We keep quiet. It's not to say that we enjoy it. We just keep quiet because we're like, so teeny. What else are we going to do? Because these are the options that we have. We don't have any more options. So we're dealing with what we have. And we keep quiet about it.
Oh, what?
Men, on the other hand, because South African women are beautiful, some of the best in the world, and you guys know this, because you've looked at other women in the world and you say, Mara is South, we are winning. Because, top notch, the ladies in South, I'm
Yeah.
telling you for free. So because you've got pick of the litter, there's so many, there's a hot woman in every corner. You can shun us and you can be shallow about the way that we look. But we can't do the same because our options are limited.
You know, there's a song that I'm looking at right now.
And you're laughing because you know I'm right.
Oh, wow.
No, I hear you.
You know-
I'm just like,
Doc, there's a song there, Maverick City Music. They released an album, Jubilee, many years ago. And there's a prayer there, side B intro. It says, to say nothing is to speak, and to do nothing is to actually do. So you say you guys keep quiet.
I get to
You
also be
guys
told
keep it- but-
to keep quiet
My
and
thing is,
respecting the dialogue.
you guys keeping quiet, ne? You are promoting that.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't
But it
do
is
that.
true.
That's not a real thing.
Think about it
No.
this way, ne? Think about it this way. If you are raising a child and they do whatever it is that they want to do, and you don't reprimand them, you don't say anything whatsoever, how about Kali? Then you are letting them.
But then in the same conversation, in South Africa, we're also taught about indoda is the head of the household. You must be obedient to your
Okay.
husband. You must respect your husband. We're all taught, don't act like you don't know that. We're all taught as Africans that you need to.
But I'm not a
you need
woman,
to-
so you can't say
No.
don't act like you don't know that.
I'm saying the concept of obedience and respect in a marriage. We are all taught that you need to respect the household and the head of the household. Meaning, there's only certain things that you're allowed to raise and certain things that you can't speak about. Sometimes you need to keep quiet. Most women, and I know this because you know when you go through that process of marriage where they say the woman of the house need to mele bakulawule. You must behave like this, you must behave like that, and you must always make sure that you put your marriage first. There's some women who also then teach ladies before they get into marriage, if he cheats, just keep quiet and deal with it and fix your relationship. Because as Africans, we are also taught this is the way of the world. Where look after your marriage, look after your man. If things go awry, it's your responsibility to fix it. Which means we are limited in the amount of things we're about to speak about. We're limited in the amount of things we're allowed to reprimand. That's why inherently, Black South African women, I'm going to say that specifically, we will keep quiet about certain things. Because as Africans, that's what we are told before marriage.
Okay.
So I hear your point about reprimanding a child. But in a relationship, you're also told, Guti, the man's word is what must go, and you must just listen to what he needs to say.
I don't entirely agree with what you're saying. So I look at how, maybe back then, sure, right?
This still happens now.
Yeah, I hear that, but there's been so much evolution. We were talking about this, my siblings and I. We look at how my younger brother, Denyuko, right, how he's dating now. My dad used to be so strict with us, right? But now, things are different with him. In fact, he can bring a girl home, so he can date inside, our home, our yard. And I suppose it's a community thing. But I say all of that to say, a lot of people, even traditional people, have evolved. So if you and I were having this conversation, got 1990-something, got 2001, 2005, I get it, right? But there's been so much evolution. So to say or you can't now even have a conversation with your husband to say, darling, this is not good, and so on and so forth. I don't see it in this day and age.
Okay.
I'm a married guy. My wife and I, we talk. Yes, respect will always be there. But there's certain things that, she can talk to me about. There's certain things that she can raise and so on and so forth. Even if I feel some type of way, right? I know for a fact that that's coming from a good place. And it's not because she's trying to disrespect me or embarrass me or anything like that. So if we were having this conversation many, many, many years ago, I would definitely agree. But I say that to say there's been evolution.
There definitely has been evolution. And I agree with you. Communication is one of those things that has opened up in a household to the point where everybody feels like they've got a say in certain things and the way things need to be managed. But it's not to say that those initial values have been completely scrapped. Because as a woman, sometimes you also go in thinking, okay, cool, I can have a conversation with my husband, but I've also got limitations as to what I can say and what I can't say. And I agree with you. These conversations need to happen. I'm not saying that they shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because of tradition and how we've been brought as Black Africans, it's a little bit more difficult to kind of jump over those barriers without hitting a little bit of a barrier, especially in a relationship.
Yeah.
And with you, I guess it's fine because you guys have evolved to the point where communication is a cornerstone of your relationship. Some marriages, like you guys are saying, some marriages today don't have communication whatsoever because umuntu is just there as a placard to just look pretty, and they've got no voice whatsoever in their relationship.
Yeah.
And those relationships exist. So to say that we are promoting it, I don't think that's a reality. I just think we're not allowed to speak out about certain things.
Yeah,
That's
but
interesting.
But you see, for me, it's like if you're married to a person, you can't tell that person go to the gym. Maybe you shouldn't be married.
I agree with you. I'm saying historically, those relationships where it's purely based on face card, there's no communication there, which means there's no feedback that's happening in that relationship. That's why a guy will easily say, "Oh, so okay, Nile, I'm out." He hasn't had the conversation to say, okay, maybe gym nyana, maybe turkey nyana, something. Do you know what I mean? But the conversation isn't there. The guy's just saying, oh, okay, Nile, I can't do this anymore. Out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That person's not having the conversation. He's literally running away from the problem.
Yeah.
Dude, what is permissible in, and I use that word loosely, what is permissible in your household?
In terms of
comms?
Nah, bro, like, I think at the root of every communication is respect, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like respect allows for any conversation to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there isn't anything that I'm saying, like we saying this isn't permissible or this is not allowed or we can't, whatever. I think if it's disrespect, it's something else.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes also respect can be very subjective in the sense that maybe the person or my wife wouldn't mean to or intend to hurt me.
Yeah.
In terms of, because we're still learning about sensitive areas or whatever the case. Like for instance, saying something like that, so tunya too much, you know. Which season, you know, because I found that it's seasonal. Like sometimes when you say something like that, I'll receive it, you know, be like, yeah, nah, I'm tunya too much right now. That's not what she says. I'm just making an example.
I get you.
Yeah, but if I'm in a certain season, you say something like that, it will kind of come across somehow. But when I say respect, is I'll let her know that, hey man, I didn't appreciate how you told me about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in terms of permission and everything, I would talk about anything, at least as far as I'm concerned, that you believe that you're speaking constructively and you're even jokingly. Because I think one thing that I also saw is like transitioning from how we used to joke as friends and how we constructively criticize as husband and wife is a transition on its own, you know, because the sensitivity area has also grew. You know, it's no longer that thing. If I said something, now it's coming from my husband. Now it's coming from my wife, and that sensitivity is like it's like you become sort of like a doctor, you know, like okay, now this is too sensitive. Maybe I need to ask her how would you rather than have me communicate something like this. But yeah, it's not a permission thing, it's more of a respect thing.
That's interesting. I think I share the same sentiment. It's a tone thing at the end of the day. And, you know, even when we were dating, like we were big on like tone. In fact, my wife is the one who taught me tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, men sometimes.
Yeah,
just like,
I would say what
you know what I mean? And then somebody sits down with you and they say, listen, I hear you, blah, 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 but that tone, dude, like, like I can take in everything that you say, but if the tone is somehow, like, I just shut down.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then you practice it because it doesn't change overnight. And then ultimately, like, you grasp.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
that
change the
entire
message either. It just changes the delivery.
Yeah.
Because if it's delivered correctly, then it'll be received correctly.
Yeah. But I mean, also, like, going back to what you were saying, I think when you go on Twitter, then I think you see and you come across, like, the men Noni is talking about, you know, the very traditional, staunch traditional men who, like, you know, a woman is filth,
And
a
they
woman
exist in
belongs in the kitchen.
2026. It's so scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
It's the craziest thing, bro. It's like, no. Utla Mutare, a girl posting about eating maybe scop. And then the guy will comment and say, oh, but Musadi, wow, just scop.
It was so weird for me. There was the one year, not last year, the year before, Christmas Day. Obviously, it's Christmas. Everybody's posting their family. So we also, we had gone out for lunch, for Christmas lunch with my family. And I posted a picture with my mom, my cousin, my sister, my nephew. Everybody's happy in that picture. Some loser comments on my picture, "Are how Miss Cosmo, not even skating naga Christmas." I said, who are you to police whether I'm wearing jeans on Christmas or not?
Yes, see, okay, now I see the type of guy.
I was like,
Yeah.
these people still exist.
Yeah.
I sat there and I said, who are you to tell me what to wear with my family on Christmas?
Yo,
I don't even know you.
Muto looked at that picture.
And his biggest issue
And
was that I was wearing jeans.
that's crazy.
His
That's
biggest
a
issue
mindset.
was that I was wearing jeans on Christmas
And I can
Day.
show Muzul.
I was like, what the hell?
That's a conditioning.
It is.
Like,
I never
that's
told you the story,
crazy.
nah? But when I proposed to Lala in 2020, when was it? 2023, 2024, I can't remember even. And then I posted like the engagement pictures.
Okay.
There's a guy, because I posted on social media everywhere, even my Twitter. There's a guy who commented and he's like, Ewen, king Toyeta. To the girl's home and ask for her hand in marriage, not to be posting pictures in the living room, blah, 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 blah. Yes, yeah.
Muto what's that thing on a comment?
Bro,
That's crazy.
on my comment, I'm gonna find that comment and I'm gonna show you guys.
You niggas is
And I'm
wild.
like, when I was Scotland cry, like Imzul. And then I went through his profile and then I was like,
But can you see what I'm talking
It
about
makes
when I'm
sense.
saying, Guti, there's still a lot of
Yeah.
traditional people in South
Yeah.
Africa. I understand we have evolved, and there are a lot of people who have evolved. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We have evolved. Our communication has evolved. We are much better in the way that we engage with people as humans. But there are still some people, and there's a very big number of people who still think that way, who still grow up that way and grow up in households that way where they think indoda is the head of household, when uzongilalela, kushaya isicathulo sami, 1 2 3, and then the women must just concede and keep quiet and respect and be obedient and have no voice and have no say.
and always again, if you're watching this and you're that type of guy, you will never be fulfilled in life.
Yo. Fulfilled is crazy. But like, let's get this out of rough days.
Nah, Christmas.
Christmas.
That time I thought to myself, I was fully clothed for that Christmas. I was telling myself I'm gonna change into my Perry outfit later for my kids.
Mara, that's wild, bro.
But you know what I mean?
Like, that's really
Like,
wild.
also, why are you policing me?
Yeah, no.
I can
But
wear
also-
whatever the hell I want.
To look at a picture and we're not gonna that's crazy.
It's wild.
I always, when I see a comment like that, I always go to those people's profiles. Mara, it's, you know,
I didn't reply, to be fair. I honestly didn't engage him, but I obviously sat back, and it's still sitting with me till today to be like,
Yeah.
who are you
yeah.
to think that you can police somebody else and what they're wearing.
Yeah.
You have a message for him? I think he's gonna watch the
No,
podcast.
it's fine. He can see it, and he'll know I called him a loser. You're a damn loser.
Loser.
Speaking of which, are you guys familiar with buy now, pay later?
Yes.
This I think it's called PayFlex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Kile bye.
but
Yeah.
you get that.
But you're getting it now.
Yeah, so it lets you buy something today and split the payment into 4 interest-free installments.
Yes.
Apparently, it's over 6 weeks. Is that the case?
Well, it depends on the timeline that you choose. There's some that are longer. There's some that are shorter.
Yeah. So it's popping up everywhere, from fashion stores, sneaker shops, furniture, tech, and even travel tickets. In fact, somebody was telling me that they bought a festival ticket. Got PayFlex. Yeah. So what used to be something people used for big purchases is now being used for everyday spending. So those sneakers that you want, Sechaba, for 2,400 Rand, with PayFlex, you could walk out paying 600 today. Now, I'm not planting anything in your head. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man.
This is how people drown in debt.
I don't know, man.
And then the rest gets split over the next couple of weeks. So for shoppers, it feels like flexibility. For retailers, it's definitely a sales booster because people are more likely to buy when they don't have to pay the full amount at that particular moment, right? But the real question, and it's a question that I have for you guys, buy now, pay later is it helping people manage cash flow? Or is it quietly normalizing debt?
Both. And I say this sparingly, also trying to understand where people's finances are. One, in Cyril's economy, everything's too expensive to pay once off. So South Africans want certain things, but they can't afford it because they're not earning enough. Our wages are too low. The wage bracket for any South African, that doesn't matter what industry you're in, we're just all being underpaid. Everything is way too expensive.
Sure.
And because of that, I understand why there's companies like PayFlex. And PayFlex makes it easier because at least it's also interest-free. So it's not like you are throwing yourself into a space where you're paying way more than what you would have paid at the shop. You're paying the same amount, you're just splitting it over time, right? However, I am worried about the comfort that it's creating about debt. You would say, oh no, let me just get this thing and then I can keep paying it off. That's how some people start getting into credit card debt over groceries. Because there's some people who will get like a Woolworths credit card and they're paying off groceries that they've long finished, digested last year. But they still need to pay for it. It's unfortunate. But where we are right now, financially, nobody can afford to just blow money on a pair of sneakers. Sneakers are also unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah, no.
Why are sneakers for my 8K, for my 10K? But why are you paying so much money?
I blame shelf life, bro.
Why? The resale value of certain things. Why are we reselling sneakers and making them 10 times more than what they actually should be? I don't believe in paying so much money for shoes.
Yeah.
Me, personally, if it's more than my 2K, miss me.
Yeah. But
I'm not coming to that party.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because who cares?
Yeah.
Also, at the end of the day.
That's so true.
Nobody cares, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's tricky because the human brain also wants to spoil. You want to do something nice for
100%.
yourself. But if you can't afford it, these are the options.
You raise such an important point, especially when you talk about groceries. Imagine you go and you buy groceries, kayona PayFlex, and you spend about 10,000 or whatever the amount is. You spent it last year, now you're paying it off. I feel like if I was in that situation, I would be discouraged to pay back that amount. Because number one, the food items are not there anymore. So now I'm paying for something that doesn't exist. And it's just like, nah.
Yeah.
So that's my fear with that whole man. At some point, and I'm just like, you just miss me with that. Or I'm going to reverse those debit orders because apparently that's how they take their money, by debiting your account.
You reverse the debit orders, but then you are then still sitting in the debt.
Exactly.
And then at some point you get a judgment, and then you can't apply for a car because you didn't want to pay for your groceries.
And then you're blacklisted and all of that.
You're blacklisted because you didn't want to pay for your groceries that you ate last year.
Being
for
blacklisted
Christmas.
for groceries is crazy.
It's wild.
But, you know, for me, bruh, I'm like, with what you were saying about the men in South Africa, it's like, sometimes Tamil is a country that we live in, bruh. You know, and a company like PayFlex, for me, I feel like, need to understand that at the root of it all, people just want fulfillment, man.
Yes.
You know, and fulfillment, I think for me it's a higher stake than debt to South Africans, if I can put it that way. You know, in the sense that who's gonna get the sneaker that he wants, the samba that he wants, and he's paying it for over 3-4 months. He's more fulfilled by that samba sneaker.
Yeah.
More than him being concerned about the debt that he knows that he's not even getting enough money anyway. He's not living the life that he wants. He's like, there's so many things that are burdening him on a normal day that he just wants to be fulfilled at the end of it all. And if he feels the samba sneaker and paying it for 4 months is what's going to fulfill him, I understand the educated guess or educated mind that comes and says, this is going to drown me in debt. I'm forever going to be in a cycle of debt, you know. But for that guy, it is what it is, man. If I can just get myself a samba, I get a sharp.
And that's why I'll always support what that coach said.
Yeah, Steve
said, go and buy that sneaker. 100%. Because there is a certain confidence boost that happens when you buy that sneaker.
Buy it.
You will wear it and you will be confident whenever you walk into a venue, when you walk into a meeting, when you walk into wherever you are.
Yeah.
You walk in and people look at, because that's what we are, that's what we do as humans. We judge each other from top to bottom. And we look at how a person presents themselves. And if you're walking in with that shoe that makes you feel like, okay, I feel like $100 today, go and buy that shoe.
Yeah.
Because at some point, unfortunately, people also look at you at face value.
Yeah.
And if you are coming in for a job interview or you're trying to do a proposal or a presentation or whatever the case may be, they're going to judge you first on what you look like before what you say, before you even open your laptop, before you even get the job done.
That's the reality of it all.
It's unfortunate, but it is the way of the world. And if that is necessary for you to get yourself the foot through the door, where your presentation of yourself is good looking, we're more likely to listen to you. Yeah. I'm not going to listen to a para who walks in, who looks like he's been sleeping in a park for months on end. But he's got a great idea. I'm just not going to give him the time of day because unfortunately he hasn't presented himself in the way that makes me want to listen to him. That's just how our neurons shoot off in our brains to say, okay, are we paying attention to this? But funny enough, I saw a post yesterday of some violinist. I can't remember what his name is, James something, whatever. Anyway, the point of the post was he went to a Subway in New York City, opened up his violin case, same violin that he uses when he's at the orchestra, played. There must have been, and they counted, there must have been 1,097 people who walked past him and ignored him, didn't give him the time of day. Maybe about 7 people dropped money in his case. He made about $32. Everybody was just like, we don't care. This person just looks like he's another busker who's just trying to get change out of us. The week prior to that, he sold out at one of the arenas in the States. Sure. I think a ticket each was maybe about $150 or maybe even more than that. Everybody sitting in silence, dressed to the occasion, making sure that they pay attention and they give him the respect that he deserves. Purely because of presentation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's so true.
That is a crazy analogy.
Yeah, and I think also what you're touching on is, you know, in varsity, they taught us about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And at the top is self-actualization. And this is about achieving one's full potential, including creative activities, etc. And then below that is esteem needs. So this is prestige and, you know, feeling of accomplishment. And then belongingness and love needs. So this is intimate relationships, friends, etc. Then you have safety needs, so security and safety. and then physiological needs, food, water, warmth, rest, and so on and so forth. So I think what you're describing is the fourth one, which talks about, a feeling of accomplishment. Because sometimes when you work, bro, and to your point, in Cyril's economy, like what's fun, I'm afraid what's fun. There's a video that somebody, or a picture that people often post, Island Month End. It's a video actually where somebody will be calculating, okay, minus Bukana. Literally, like that's a lot of like South Africans.
Yeah.
When you think about it, month end comes and you're calculating more than you should actually be enjoying the fact that you just got paid. You know what I mean? So I get it from that point of view. The guy is just like, what's hard? Like, I'm not getting paid enough. And like a big portion of my money actually goes to bills and so on and so forth. So you know what? I'm going to do something nice for myself.
Yes,
and then get that like honestly. Yeah. So I get it from that point of view, but I think I worry a lot about, because also, food is a big thing in South Africa. I think I worry about that one more than any other thing. Somebody sneaker and all of that, it's fine. Joe, like you spending like 10,000 rands on food, right? And you have to pay that. It's so difficult to pay for something that you don't have, bro.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah,
and I think I worry about that.
Because especially when you've got for instance, like a car installment, you sit back and you're just like, hey, I can't afford this thing. And then you sit back, you're like, hey, but then they're gonna take my car, and then it forces you to pay for it because you don't want it to be repossessed.
Yeah.
You don't want your car repossessed, so you're like, hey, let me just pay it so that I can still have this car.
Yeah.
Which also then even still, it's things like that where sometimes you even have people who cancel their insurance after they've paid off their cars. I can't stand people who do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what makes you think that your car's safe on the road now that you've paid it off?
Like, that's a weird one, actually.
But people do that because for them, insurance feels like a prerequisite to getting a car more than it is a safety measure to whatever else is going to happen to you.
I mean, you're done paying the car, just pay the insurance.
They don't want, they cancel the insurance also because in their minds, it's an it's an extra expense. Why am I paying for this?
Yeah. Look, I get that logic sometimes, but it's not correct. But I get it.
Wait, how? Like, what do you mean you get it?
Yeah?
Like, what do you get about it? Because
you know what I mean? Like, so.
But insurance.
Yes, but the thing is, you see, the car is intact, right? So if something happened, let me actually get my thoughts.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm talking shit now.
Yeah, Ricky, onto that. Because for me, it's like not getting petrol. It's still, for me, insurance sounds like something that the car still needs, whether or not I've paid it off. So like petrol, it's not like
and
stop
servicing
buying
the car.
And servicing the car. It's still part of the package. So I'm trying to distinguish how, or like understand how people.
I think there's a sensitivity when you are like paying the installments. I think people feel the sensitivity that should anything happen right now, I'm still paying the installment and so on and so forth. So it becomes a big knock on me if I don't have insurance and I get into an accident of some sort. You know what I mean? And I suppose once I'm done like paying the car, that sensitivity sort of like lifts. It fades away slightly because you're like, okay, no kuli eno ena, it's mine, right? So I want to enjoy now the fruits. So I'm not paying for the car anymore. So now you have this other amount, insurance, that is just a hurdle in my life, right? So I don't want that. So I just want to enjoy the fruits.
Until you get into an accident.
And then you get into an accident.
Or not even an accident. In Johannesburg, it's very brave of you with all the potholes.
For real. That's why I mean, guys, please.
There's way more risk of an accident now than there was maybe 10 years ago because the potholes are unbelievable.
These potholes
and also the idea is that,
hand.
Once you've paid off the car, chances are you're going to get a new car. So why must I spend like insurance on this old car if I'm going to get a new car? So might as well like plow all that energy and all that finances on the new car that I'm going to get.
Guys, let's cancel the insurance.
No, I definitely agree.
Make
I
sense.
100% agree with you.
Yeah, but but there's people who do it. That's the sad part. The common sense is not so common,
Yeah, guys, please, man.
But with regards to PayFlex, I appreciate the fact that it's interest free. While there's some portions of it that's at least interest free, it just makes it easier for the normal South African to afford something nice for themselves without paying extra. Because the interest is usually the part that kind of deters certain people from buying things. Because now you're paying like an extra 10-15% because you didn't realize that was also the case. And also, I do implore some people to also go and check their credit card percentages. Apparently, there was something that had raised Yoguti. I think it was Standard Bank and Absa had decreased their percentages for credit cards, but FNB and another bank had kept theirs at like a really high rate. Apparently, there was some new law that was placed in, I'll double check actually, because I don't like saying apparentlys. But I heard it on the radio the other day that you need to go in and actually go and check what your interest rate is and whether that's according to South African law, because there's a bracket that it should be in. It shouldn't be sitting at 27-30%. It should be somewhere lower to maybe say like 10-15%. So if you've got a credit card and your interest rate is too high, please go and double check that.
Yeah, it should actually be at 8%, 8 point something. That 10 to thing is too much. Yeah. And speaking of FNB, Kyakutala.
Wow.
Whatever personal.
Let's move on now, thanks.
That's so personal.
Yep.
I wanted to say something about the PayFlex thing. For me, with such things, I wish, this is just a wish. I wish, when we had like these things, Thabo, if you're going to have something like a concept like PayFlex, and I'm not saying in a way that promotes unhealthy financial habits, but if these things were actually helping that person that we're talking about who earns 4.5, right? If there were ways for them to still be able to have more with what they have. Like if the idea of PayFlex was more of if it came with like some sort of financial education, if I can put it that way. Because I still feel like these tools, even if they come and their intention is to help, but if they still fall to minds that don't know what to do with them, it really just recycles the behavior more than it actually helps, if you get what I mean. So for me, it's like, I wonder how we have mashonisa. Like the finance, like financial advisors for Takasi. Or if you're not 4.5, you can actually get more out of this 4.5 than what you're getting right now.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to use your 4.5 and you have this thing that you need, you pay 200 more, now you pay 300 more. Not like I said, not things that are unnecessary. I'm not talking about like you buying
frivolous stuff.
Yeah, but things that you actually need in a household and available, like you earning that 4.5. If those things about PayFlex were really more advantageous in that sense to educate that financial aspect of people, I feel like it would be a better thing than it coming as another layer of because I feel like it just.
But that's not what they do. That's not their purpose.
Yeah, no, I'm not
somebody
saying.
else must come with the purpose.
Yes.
PayFlex is just making life easier for you to pay off something.
Yes.
They've created a tool.
So now I'm calling all the soldiers. It's in Bomashonisa, like people who are like Bomashonisa.
Yeah.
Who can come up with these?
Bomashonisa come 50% interest. Do you have? And you know, I never understand people who agree to that 50% interest. Why do you say yes?
To come on,
you are borrowing 3,000. You want to pay back 6,000. Why would you do that?
Like Marwabona.
It's desperation.
Like,
guys, what's about desperation again?
And there's people who say yes.
Yo, get desperation in faith.
Get Mashonis.
Oh.
Get Drago.
And Mashonis is just there. Look, like, okay, no, I'll give it to you. But these are the T's and C's.
And then you say yes to your knees being knocked.
Yeah, it's on my little Yabu Sango, my Yabu Gobela that we spoke about. It's the same thing. You know?
I get you.
But yeah, that's PayFlex. Nagai I think I don't like dabbling in certain things.
I mean, it works for certain people. There's some people who gamble. There's people who don't gamble. There's people who could get into debt. There's people who don't get into debt. It just depends on who you are as a person. Make it make sense for you.
Yeah,
I think for me, right, what happened was when I bought my property.
you want to get a PayFlex?
No. there's a lot of things that I didn't know, right? and so, because like people, and this is the thing about salespeople, they get to a point where they get you to a point where they get what they want, and then after that, it's just like it's like when two people have sex, right? Like there's foreplay, they undress each other, but once they are satisfied, or will dress themselves, We're not dressing each other, after you're satisfied. And I feel like that's the same with salespeople. And a guy used a word. He said, to be a salesperson, you have to be manipulative, and I definitely agree. But I say all of that to say that when I bought my property, there's a lot of things that I didn't know. There's a lot of things that I was not told.
Yeah.
And so my levies bill then piled up. And then one day I got an email. They're like, hey, man, your levies. I'm like, hey?
And they keep quiet and they wait for it to accumulate. They wait for it to accumulate, and then all of a sudden you're getting a letter from the sheriff's office.
Sech, I remember I paid so much money, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, kishabo. Like, so because of that, like certain things I just don't want to mess with, and I guess it's trauma. Because PayFlex again, to a large extent, if you pay it, right? But I think...
No, but I mean, you're going to pay it because it comes off as a debit order.
Yeah.
So at some point, whether you remember it or not,
that's if you don't reverse the flipping debit order.
But then if you reverse it, then at some point, then it's going to flag with your credit score. And then now you and your PayFlex that you are running away from, now you're blacklisted, you can't do anything.
So because of the trauma...
You can't even get a job.
Bruh, I'm like scared of certain things. Yeah.
I forgot her name, and she does like financial advices.
Nicolette?
No. I think like or something. She usually goes on why. But she like the financial advising that she does is on a very small scale. And I say this to emphasize Thabang. I feel like these things, bro, like they really are there to help us, not for us to find ways to, how can I scam this thing in a way? Like, how can I avoid PayFlex or whatever? But I feel like if whatever the tools, it's like financial tools to say, okay, there's PayFlex, there's this, there's that. And how can I, with the money that I make in a month, tap into all of this in a healthy way that allows me to live comfortably with what I'm making. And it maybe not in a very extravagant way, like compared to your other peers or whatever the case. Mara, when you make 10K and you need this, you need that, you need this, or maybe you need, or you want this, you want that. How can I use these things in a healthy way for myself? Because I feel like if it's not established as a healthy way to help me manage my money, it then becomes useless. Because Thabang, they saw PayFlex and they're like, ke kgona patala 6 clip. Well, suddenly PayFlex the 12, and it's defeating the purpose. And it's like this thing that PayFlex has created to actually assist you in managing your finances.
Yeah.
You are abusing it now. And you find yourself even at a worse place than when PayFlex was not even there. And it's like,
discernment, very important. Before you click accept.
Yeah. That's true. I'm just mindful of time. I know you have school. So I just want to quickly wrap up. I want to tell you guys a story. It's a story about a guy called Honi, Honi. So Mark Batterson, in his book, The Circle Maker, he writes about this character called Honi, right? So the story takes place during a severe drought in Israel. So at the time, people's entire livelihood depended on agriculture. So if there was no rain, it meant there were no crops. Wells would dry up, and eventually people would face starvation. So you can imagine the panic, right? Honi, however, he grew tired of the drought, and he did something very unusual. He found a patch of ground, and then he took his staff, and he drew a circle on the ground, right? And then he sat inside that circle, and he prayed these words. He said, Lord of the universe, I swear before your great name that I will not move from this circle until you show me mercy. and send rain, right? And then after some time, a small drizzle began to fall. Everyone in the community was ecstatic, very happy. But Honi remained unmoved because he knew that a drizzle was not what they needed. They needed rain, right? And so he prayed again. And after that, a rain of blessing fell. Now, I share that story because I think it's such a powerful story, and it's a story that I share a lot with people. But at the center of that, I have so many questions. There's so many questions that I have, right? And I think for you guys, what I want to find out is, has there been moments in your life where you settled for drizzle, but you were praying for rain?
I think we've all been through situations like that. Mm-hmm. It's not intentional, but you sit back and you're just like, if this is all I'm going to receive right now, let me just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
Us as freelancers, it happens to us all the time, where you know your worth, where you would rather be invoicing 100 Rand, but then the budget says, we've only got 10 Rand, take it or leave it. And we've said yes to that 10 Rand because you need to batch and pay the bills. It's unfortunate because you know your worth, you know you're supposed to be charging more, you know you're supposed to be getting more for your services, and you're still going to do your job 100%. But you know you've been undercut in this specific situation because you don't know when the rain is coming.
Yeah. Goodness, Sech?
No, I definitely agree with that. Like that's perfect, but like I agree with it, especially also in the extent, being a freelancer, right? And I was telling you earlier, actually, to say that because you settle for the drizzle, like, I guess it is settling for the drizzle. But because you settle for the drizzle, I have found myself like just being dizzy because I'm worth 100 Rand. Now I'm gonna find 10. If bang offer 10 Rand, I need 10. That means I need 10 gigs or 10 of these things to
make the 100.
To make the 100 because I need the 100 that they're saying they can't afford. And in the midst of that, I just find myself dizzy because now you're all over the place. And I found that even in that, it also started affecting my productivity. And to just answer your question is that the danger in settling for that was for me the fact that I had to just be dizzy and be lost, like rond loop basically. But it's something that I had to settle for, because it's like, if I don't do this, then what? Sure. I can't sit. I can't sit and sulk. I can't sit and demand more. I can't sit basically. I can't draw a segel. I have to get out of the segel and draw more segels if I have to, or whatever the case might be. But I have found myself in those places.
And then the guilt sometimes also eats you when you decline it. Because then you're just like, no, I'm worth more than this. And then the week goes by and then you're like, I should have said
I should have just taken that thing,
now it's gone.
Yeah.
And now you're still in the black hole that you're in because you prioritize your ego. And it's tricky because I know there's certain spaces where you need to value yourself, where you need to say, no, I'm only worth 100 Rand. And if you're not going to give me 100 Rand, I'm not taking the gig. I get it. And there are those times where you can have that confidence to say, no, not doing it unless it's at my fee. And sometimes that also puts you in a different bracket where people start taking you seriously in a certain space. But then you also sit back and you're just like, but when am I going to work? Because there's only a few people who can afford that amount. And then everybody else is sitting here under 50 Rand.
Yeah.
And their budget is lower than that.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and you're just like, okay, but the industry says everyone else is charging 50 Rand. Why am I charging 100 Rand? I know my value is worth 100 Rand, but what am I going to do? I'm never going to work.
Yeah.
There's only one person in a year who can pay me that 100 Rand. There's 12 months in the year.
Now, you spoke about like drawing circles, right? And I'm curious to find out, when you look at the current season of your life, what would it look like for you to stay a little longer in the circle? I think for me it would be goodness, because I'm in a very like challenging situation in my life. where there's a lot of pull, like from different angles, and it's like a financial like demand, and it gets to a point where you're like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In fact, I was reflecting the other day on because we work hard, guys. You know this. You know, on Friday I'm at the gym, blah 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 blah, and then I get like a notification, FNB, there's money in my account. Ooh! Instead of celebrating, I'm thinking about these demands. And there's nothing as painful as money entering your account.
And then as soon
5 minutes later, gone. Because you must pay someone.
Bruh.
Yeah.
You know, so I think for me, staying in like the circle a little longer would look like, because it's easy to say, okay, now I got this cash, I'm going to leave the circle. And that's the drizzle. So I think staying in that circle would be me like putting a demand on God. You know, I always tell my home cell about, in the book of Zechariah, they speak about the 7 lamps of God, right? And these 7 lamps signify the eyes of God, which go to and fro the earth. So meaning that God sees everything and he knows everything, right? And so my prayer is always, God, you know everything. And you see everything. So I think for me, staying a little longer in the circle would be me demanding, like putting a demand in him. And sometimes it feels like Retlapela Modimo, something like that, you know, but it's like he's God, like, and he doesn't feel like that. So I think sometimes we're like we put boundaries in circles and tape, you know, ourselves, and it's like, no, but you shouldn't do that, right? And I think the revelation for me is there are certain things that fit the perfect will of God. Like there are certain things that will just happen in your life, Noni. You know, you're not asking, Sech, you're not asking, you just see things happening, right? But then there's what we read in the book of James, James chapter 4, verse 2. It says, you don't have because you don't ask. And so I've learned that there's certain things that are predicated on us asking. So
And you have to be specific in what you're
there's
asking.
power in specificity.
Yeah.
There's so much power in that. So I think me like sitting in the circle would entail like just me like putting that demand on God. And yeah, it may feel like these ladies are so sweet. They're putting a bench for voiceovers and stuff outside actually for people to sit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for me, it would be that thing of I'm just gonna ask and ask.
Keep asking.
Even if I get tired. Like I'm just gonna put that.
Because if
demand
you
on
don't
him.
ask, you're going to dwell and you're going to circle in that depression and you won't be able to get yourself out of it. So you need to be specific. You need to say what you want. You need to also give a deadline. Because sometimes when things are open-ended, God says, oh, okay, she just wants a car. She doesn't say when she wants it.
December is fine.
She doesn't say which one she wants. She does, okay, fine. Next thing, you win an I-10. And you're just like, okay, sharp, Kikolo, Mara, it's not the one I want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to specify and say, I want this specific car. I want it by this time. I want it in this way. Can we work together towards it? Yes, it won't happen tomorrow, but you've given yourself that time to work towards it and also God to work towards it so that you can also then work together to manifest it and for it to come together. Specificity is the most important part about prayer, because if you don't do that, uzokhala when you get something, and then God's going to say, oh, but you asked for a car. You didn't say which one.
Yeah.
You didn't say when.
Yeah, I'm giving you a quid.
You know, because then that car comes in 5 years. You say, but you just said you wanted a car. You didn't say you wanted it in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I like that. Being specific. Sorry.
Specific.
Being specific. As we close, one last question. If God answered every prayer you stopped praying, what rain might you be experiencing today?
Yo, I'd be a lotto winner.
You.
I would be jet setting every week, my boy. I'm telling you, passport stamped, living the best life.
Passport texted.
Yo, I would be you guys wouldn't even know who I am. I'm telling you, I would be living large and in charge. But you know, I just think for most people, it's just stability, it's comfort, is, getting, the certain ground things that you want for yourself done. Being able to look after your family, being able to look after your own home, being comfortable. Sometimes you just want those days where you can sit and be like, I'm not stressed about anything.
Sure.
I want those days where I can just sit and be like, there's nothing on my mind, there's no deadline.
Yeah.
I just want to. I reposted something the other day where the post had said, you don't want to be rich so that you can go shopping and buy expensive things. You want to be rich so that you can go to the gym in the middle of the day. You can go and have a coffee and just sit there and admire the flowers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to be rich enough to just sit on your couch and not stress about what's happening tomorrow. That's the type of rich I want to be. I don't care about Diamond Walk. I just want to be comfortable and know everything is paid for.
Yeah.
And I can just sit and watch Netflix, give a shop.
Yeah. No PayFlex coming.
Do you understand?
When I Sech?
I think for me, bro, like, it's crazy that for me, there's the modest one. There's one closer to my heart and there's the one closest to my heart. And I think the one is being at a point where I'm able unapologetically to express myself creatively. I find that because of the journey of my career, I've always had to compromise on my creativity. And I say this because of like the projects that I've had the privilege of working on, or like the things that I mean things that are profitable, like I'm not talking about like things that I will just do on my own or whatever the case. There's a new series that I'm watching, it's called Them. And I always have these series that when I'm watching and I'm like, if only I can just do something so, like if only I can just get to a point where I'm able to execute something like this, And for me, it's that, bro. Like if I can just get to the richness of having the privilege of just expressing myself creatively. And by that, I mean like having at my disposal, like the sort of equipment and gear that I would want and the time of day to just do it. That's literally, that's where it's at for me. Yeah. Like just, like sometimes I'll go to like a Maboneng or like the other week when I'll go playground, and I just see how other people like dress, like the way they just dressed, it's like an expression of their creativity, like what tokens guitar mona, just like
where the ears now stretched this big.
And when I get like, but yeah, like everything, bro. You see this? Hey, is this a dress or a curtain? What's alamo? But it's just like them expressing themselves creatively, And I find myself in have been at least very, how can I say it? Like very, like shielded. I don't know how to say it, but like I haven't
like
really
boxed in.
Boxed in, yeah. I haven't really like gotten to a point where I'm just like, I want to shoot this thing using that thing at this time. I don't know if that's too much luxury to have. Yeah.
It's not too much. I think it's
Yeah.
it's necessary, especially for somebody in your creative space.
Yeah. It's a question I want to ponder on. And I know I posed it, but I think it's such a packed question. But I know at the center of it is probably like family, my younger brother, so I think if you guys allow me, can I maybe like answer it briefly on next week's episode, and then we can get into the business of that day.
No problem.
All right.
Let's go chat GPT.
And we're not
Come
PayFlex.
here with his AI answers.
Yeah. Cosmo, please close for us. My goodness.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
To the Kavists,
Yes.
for coving each other. We'll cover you later.
Love you later. Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts, your ideas, share some of your own experiences about certain things that we've spoken about today. Just so we can also kind of unpack them next week, maybe when we unpack Thabang's answer as well. And yeah, man, have a blessed week, and we'll catch you next week.
Can we quickly say congratulations to Sechaba's new gig, dude? Like we
Yeah.
on air. That's you, man.
Shout outs to you. Chaba got himself a new job, a new place, a new
New everything. New wife. New
good.
life.
Good. No, but that's good. It's progress.
Yeah.
It
You know?
is.
Appreciate
Yeah. Sometimes
it.
these things open up when you do something for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You decided to be a good man and you married your wife.
Yeah.
God said, I got you.
I mean, let me give
Favor.
you
Sort you
life.
out.
Favor.
Yeah.
Amen.
Nah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Shout.
Cheers.